typical. I mean, they play these competitive games, and then they can't close them. And last night, the Cardinals gave up a run in the top of the 10th as Bryce Terang, with 2 outs, delivered a base hit. Jackson Churio started at second base, and then he made his way to third, and he's standing at third base when Bryce Terang drove him in for the lead run in the top of the 10th. Again, you get the runner at second base to start the inning. So I'm not saying it's easy to score, but it's available for you. Yelich lined out, Jansen grounded out, Churio went to third, and then Terang drove him in. It's 3-2. The pitcher on the mound at that point, the Miles Michaelis pitched a pretty good game, got a nice ovation afterwards. I was happy for him and what's been, kind of an up and down career here, and definitely a rough last couple of years for him based on how he came in pitching so well. But anyway, Michaelis, then Leahy, then O'Brien, and then Romero. Romero gives up the run in the 10th, but it's a 3-2 ball game. It's the first run that's been scored since the 6th inning. So here we go. Cardinals have a runner at second base to start at the bottom of the 10th. It's Lars Nootbaar. And the batter is Brendan Donovan.
Delivers to Donovan. There's a ground ball. Oh, Canning has it, and he has the runner at second, and there's going to be a throw to first. Going to third is Nootbaar. He's out at third base. He ran into an out. Oh, my goodness. What a bad break for the Cardinals. Koenig was able to get the ball. Nootbaar was in between first and second. He looked Nootbaar back to the second base bag, threw to first to get an out, and then Monasterio threw a strike to third, and Nootbaar was out there as well. A double play. I've never seen that.
For those of you scoring at home, it went 1-3-5 on the double play. The pitcher looked Nootbaar back to second. He throws to first, and then Nootbaar breaks for third and gets thrown out. And the Cardinals, just like that, have 2 outs. Ivan Herrera flies out, and the ball game is over. Cardinals lose it 3-2 to the Milwaukee Brewers. Look, it's a team that, is 5 games under 500. As Bill Parcells, a friend of the Cardinals, actually, a friend of Tony La Russa for many, many years, used to say, you are what your record says you are. Cardinals are 75-80. They need to win out if they want to finish with a winning record. Even if they did that, it wouldn't matter. The Cardinals are not a playoff team. They're not a team that for this entire year was going to be a playoff team, in my opinion or estimation. This is a team in the works. This is a team trying to figure out who is going to be with them for the long haul. This is a team in a rebuild, period. And when you're in a rebuild, things like last night happen. I'm not excusing it by any stretch. It's not fun to watch sometimes, but it has been fun to see some of these players emerge, and we've seen a few. Mason Wynn. I think you've got some promise from Michael McGreevy. I think you can pretty much bank on the fact that you're going to have J.J. Weatherholt, a superstar in your infield next year. Beyond that, I think it's wide open. I don't know what to tell you about the 2026 Cardinals. You may find that depressing, or you may find that intriguing, because Chaim Bloom's going to come in here and he's going to make some changes, and those are already actually in the works. President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak, will be with us at 11:30. Chaim has not spoken to the media just yet, but he is going to. We hope to be able to get him on this show or otherwise, and I think this is going to be one of the biggest off seasons and most important off seasons we've had around here in a long, long time. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the football last night was really good if you're a fan of Indiana, really bad if you're a fan of Illinois. I think very satisfying if you're a Missouri fan. And if you're a college football fan, the top 25 rankings are going to be really interesting when they come out today. We'll kind of guide you through it all when we come up here in just a minute. We'll also hear from Lindenwood coach Jed Stugart. His team was victorious yesterday. They pulled off a win against Stony Brook, so we'll kind of see what they did yesterday, as well as hear about Southern Illinois. They pulled off a nice win. You see, I don't forget about you, Salukis. They beat SEMO and won the wheel yesterday. I want to make sure that the local teams get their due. Sports on a Sunday morning. We spread the wealth. We're going to be talking about college football next. Then Katie Shields, SLU women's soccer coach. We'll talk about the Blues this hour at 10:45. 11:05 NFL picks. 11:15 David Freese, 2011 World Series MVP. John Mozeliak, 11:30. Bernie Mickles, 11:45. Sports on a Sunday morning from the Stiefel Sports Studio, which today is Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. We'll be right back.
Feel like your paycheck barely keeps up with your life? At the seminar, learn how real people are building passive income and retiring early using real estate. It's all happening live in St. Louis with Lifestyles Unlimited, September 27th and 28th. You'll leave with a step-by-step plan to change your future. Text radio to 88007. That's live in St. Louis, September 27th and 28th. Text radio to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight, focusing on the Siteman Kids program at St. Louis Children's Hospital, and Dr. Mohammed Abdul-Baki.
We have a large global program that people do not know about, thinking this is St. Louis and in the center of the country, and we get consulted on a large number of international consults.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, go to siteman.wustl.edu.
Hi, Debbie Monterey here with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. We've worked together for more than 5 years, and I've learned a lot about you and your business. Today, I actually found out a few things I didn't know, like your home sales stats. Compared to the average agent who sells less than 4 to 6 homes a year, you actually sell a home just about every other day. And even more impressive, your business has been built on giving back to our local community, including supporting St. Louis Children's Hospital.
Thank you. Every business should have a Go Serve Big initiative. When someone makes a referral, they're helping our communities, including St. Louis Children's Hospital, which is very special to me and my family because they helped me when I had my son many years ago. Today, sellers want to sell with certainty in this uncertain market. My upfront written guarantees are my secret to selling your home fast and for top dollar.
Friends, the secret is out. Call Gloria now at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stiefel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Sports on a Sunday morning coming to you from Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. We have Cardinal baseball today at 1:15. It's a 12:20 pregame. The Cardinals and the Brewers. Last night we talked about it in the first segment. Cardinals lost 3-2 in 10 innings. Today's game, the final home game of the season. Matthew Liberatore will make the start. He's 7-12 with a 4.30 ERA. The Cardinals will get their lineup for you, and here it is. Thomas Sajaci will lead off and play shortstop today. Ivan Herrera is the DH batting second. Alec Burleson at first base batting third. Lars Nootbaar, the cleanup hitter, he's in left field. Jordan Walker's in right batting fifth. Nolan Gorman at third base sixth. Jose Fermin is the second baseman batting seventh. Jimmy Crooks is behind the plate for Liberatore batting eighth, and Victor Scott the second is the center fielder batting ninth. We'll talk a lot of baseball in the 11 o'clock hour. David Freese, John Mozeliak, Bernie Mickles A lot of baseball talk here from Ballpark Village as we look into Busch Stadium here from beyond left field. College football yesterday, what a day. First of all, Missouri wins at home 29-20 over South Carolina. This was Lenora Sellers' comeback game. He got knocked out in the second quarter of the Vanderbilt game the weekend before, and there was a lot of question all week long as to whether Sellers would be available. As it turned out, he was. The line on this game was 10. It grew to about 13.5. It was back down to 10 once they found out that Sellers was going to play. It didn't matter, although Sellers was pretty good yesterday. Sellers 18 of 28 passing for 302 and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But he ran the ball 10 times for minus 28 yards. They bottled him up, absolutely bottled him up yesterday. He was sacked 5 times, and the Tigers outscored South Carolina 17-6 in the second half, shut them out in the fourth quarter, and the Tigers just managed the clock really well. They outgained South Carolina 456 to 293. And they run the football extremely well. They had Ahmad Hardy running like crazy yesterday. He is a fantastic player. Hardy had 22 carries, 138 yards, a touchdown, averaged 6.3 per carry. He's starting to get some little bit of Heisman buzz, little bit. And Tim Tebow was the one who did it on SEC Network before the game yesterday. He touted Hardy as someone that nobody is paying attention to, and all he did was bust out for 138 yards. Jamal Roberts, the St. Louis product, 13 carries for 76 yards and a touchdown. Bo Perbula ran it for 72 yards on 9 carries, threw it for 171, a touchdown and a pick. He's a good quarterback, just manages the game, and the Tigers beat South Carolina 29-20. Missouri's starting to get some college football playoff buzz. That's natural. They're going to play UMass next week. They should go 5-0 going into the bye, and then it gets tougher. And that's why I think you got to temper your enthusiasm just a touch, all of you outside of Mizzou. Let's not raise Missouri into suddenly this college football playoff power. It's not fair to Mizzou fans. Let them enjoy this, okay? Kansas pulled off a really nice win yesterday. They blasted West Virginia 41-10. So that actually makes Mizzou look even better because they beat Kansas earlier this year. But let me just give you a little bit of what this schedule looks like after the bye for Mizzou. And I hear all these people like, oh, Missouri's got this favorable schedule. They can go on and go to the playoff. They got a favorable schedule. They don't play on the road until October. Let me just let you know what it looks like after the UMass game. Alabama at home, at Auburn, top 25 team this week, by the way, that took Oklahoma to the end. At Vanderbilt. That is no cakewalk at all. In fact, Vanderbilt will probably be favored in that game. They're very good. They dropped 70 points yesterday. Texas A&M, one of the best teams in the country, coming into Columbia on November 8th. Mississippi State, towards the bottom of the SEC, but better. They're 4-0. Mississippi State's 4-0. Oklahoma on the road. They'll be a top 10 team. You just saw them yesterday. Oklahoma on the road. And then at Arkansas to wrap up the year. Now, Arkansas lost to Memphis yesterday, but Arkansas can move the football. So I don't believe anybody who tells me that Missouri has an easy schedule. What? I mean, that's going to be a tough 7 right there. Some tougher than others. Which brings us to Illinois and Indiana. Now, Illinois ranked 9th in the country coming into last night's game. Indiana ranked 19th. Indiana was a 7-point favorite going into the ball game. Why is that? Because they're playing at home, because they're a good team. And Illinois, a good team coming in. But yesterday is just one of those days where the train was rolling down the tracks and nobody was able to stop it. It was just a snowball effect. It started with the block punt by D'Angelo Pons. He scores on it. Illinois, on a blown coverage, scores a touchdown right back. But this turns out to be an Indiana rout, 63-10. Fernando Mendoza was just about perfect throwing the ball. The Hoosiers have 3 different running backs they send at you. They have a terrific offensive line, which makes room for both the quarterback and the running back to do their thing. Indiana wins games at the line of scrimmage. And yesterday, I know that Illinois' secondary is banged up. And I know that they're dealing with some things injury-wise, but there is no excuse for a Brett Bielema team to be that porous on the offensive line. I mean, that Indiana front was all over Luke Altmaier all game long. They gave them no breathing room. They smothered the running game. They smothered Altmaier. They controlled the football game at the line of scrimmage, period, end of story. That was a thorough whipping. In fact, in the second half, Indiana was basically just running the ball and just bullying Illinois and doing whatever they wanted at the line of scrimmage. It was really surprising to see actually a Big Ten team that we've talked a lot about in Brett Bielema's team be like that. Now, the hope is that you can bounce back. And by the way, Indiana fans want you to bounce back too, because they want Illinois to be as good as they possibly can be. Therefore, that win looks really good. Like I just mentioned, Kansas and Mizzou. That win looks really good if you're Indiana. If Illinois starts to fall apart and they go sideways this season, I know what's coming. People are going to go back to Indiana's schedule and be like, yeah, they beat Illinois 63-10, but that Illinois team wasn't any good. Oh, no. You can't go back. Illinois was ranked 9th in the country at the start of that game. So this is how schedule talk starts. People tout Illinois at the time, but then the finished product, they say, well, Illinois wasn't very good. I always find that interesting. These are really good programs. Sometimes the games can get out of control, and it did last night for Illinois. It doesn't mean their season is over. They do have USC coming up this Saturday, but that they have a lot to work on. That was very surprising to me how they allowed so much pressure get into their backfield and just could not protect a really good quarterback in Luke Altmaier. Elsewhere in the top 25, some of the marquee games, I want to concentrate on those because there were some blowouts yesterday. There were a lot of teams that were just sitting back and watching. Ohio State was off, Penn State was off, and some others. Miami looked good, beating Florida 26-7. Notre Dame got its first win, 56-30 over Purdue. Michigan beating Nebraska. That one surprised me a little bit. I thought Nebraska would get that done at home. Michigan showed me something there, going in a tough environment and winning a big game 30-27. They're ranked 21. I'll be curious to see how far they moved up. I mentioned Oklahoma beating Auburn 24-17. Sooners look like the real deal to me. Strong defense. They win by a touchdown. Florida State rolled, Oregon rolled, but they were facing some pretty easy competition. Maybe the biggest surprise of all during the day was Texas Tech going to Utah and beating them 34-10. That's the 16th ranked team in the country. They just manhandled and beat Utah 34-10. That pretty much tumbles Utah out of any college football playoff discussion, and it will create quite a buzz around the Texas Tech Red Raiders, who are now 4-0, and they've blistered everybody they've faced. So they're going to move up in the rankings too. Like I said, top 25 is going to be fascinating to see how this all turns out. Locally, some of the teams we kept an eye on, Missouri State beat Tennessee Martin 42-10. Missouri State's got a nice thing going right now. I'll be curious to see how their season ends up. They're 2-2. I thought they gave SMU a nice little battle last week, and they come back and they hammer Tennessee Martin. Lindenwood, a winner yesterday. They win at home against Stony Brook. They pull that one off 30-27. A couple of local products to tell you about at Lindenwood, including Jared Rhodes, 12 carries, 85 yards for the running back. The quarterback, Nate Glantz, was really good yesterday. 20 of 29 for 249 and 2 touchdowns. He also ran it 13 times for 104 yards and a touchdown. Also locally, Southern Illinois wins the wheel. The war for the wheel is what they call that. They go down to Cape and they drill Southeast Missouri State 59-31. Their quarterback, DJ Williams, threw for 342 yards and 4 touchdowns and ran it 10 times for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's right. DJ Williams, their quarterback, accounted for 493 yards and 6 touchdowns. That is unbelievable. Great win for Southern Illinois against SEMO. Illinois State also won in double overtime over North Alabama, 38-36. From college football to college soccer, when we come back, we'll be joined by Katie Shields, the SLU women's soccer coach. 10:45 will take you into the St. Louis Blues and their dressing room after a loss to Dallas last night, 2-1 in a shootout. 11:05, our NFL picks. Then we go all baseball from there. David Freese, John Mozeliak, Bernie Miklas. Sports on a Sunday morning coming to you from the Stifel Sports Studio in Cardinals Nation, Ballpark Village, and we'll be right back.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
You know Gray Bar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Fall is here. Baseball, beautiful weather, and the changing colors of trees and shrubs. When you think of your trees, call family-owned Gamma Tree Experts. Fall is a great time to prune and fertilize your valuable trees. Our staff of certified arborists will survey your trees to determine their needs. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree Experts at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. McKelvey is on the move with 3 new communities and prime locations opening soon. The early bird gets the worm, so get your pick of the home sites and the best prices first. Join our VIP list at McKelveyHomes.com. Strawberry Farms is located on Mexico Road, east of Highway K from the 480s. Post Farms on Highway N near Duello Road from the 540s, or the Reserve in Wildwood at Highways 109 and 100 from $560,000 to $1 million plus. It's a great time to move up to McKelvey.
Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best. They've been the premier fence and deck company in St. Louis for a long, long time. They go back to 1968. They have St. Louis homeowners trust. Trust for durable, stylish, and expertly crafted outdoor solutions. Trust for their great team, which will show you how to get it done. Trust for the great display at the showroom in Chesterfield, a wide range of options. You can discover how Chesterfield Fence and Deck can help you create the perfect outdoor space. If you're like me, I love sitting outside. I still read the newspaper. I like to read the paper. I like to have a cup of coffee. The dogs are running around. You know, I want the dogs taken care of. You got your fence, you got your patio, and I'm always looking, what could I do to add to this? Maybe, a little outdoor kitchen could be in the works. I don't know. Chesterfield Fence and Deck can work with you on all kinds of ideas. Reimagining your outdoor space, let's say. Chesterfield Fence and Deck. Just go to chesterfieldfence.com to schedule a consultation. Mention me, Tom Ackerman. You'll receive 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project with Chesterfield Fence and Deck, the sign you have the very best.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
It's been said that our eyes are the windows to the world. And so it stands to reason we should take care of those eyes, right? And wouldn't you want to entrust that care to vision experts? Well, that's what you'll find at Ophthalmology Associates, specialists in every field of eye care. And they all share the common mission to provide their patients the highest quality of personalized care and attention. Thorough eye exams, cataract treatment, advanced vision correction surgeries, all aspects of eye care that's right for you is right at Ophthalmology Associates. This is Rick Wallace. They have been my trusted partners in the health of my eyes for almost 30 years. They are the best. Ophthalmology Associates, Doctors Bertie, Malhotra, Brusati, and Royer, 3 St. Louis area locations. Visit youridoc.com or call 314-966-5000.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back. Sports on a Sunday morning on KMOX. It is a great day, and it's a great day to be a St. Louis Billiken, that's for sure. The SLU women's soccer team off to another great start, and they'll be hosting their A10 opener today at 1 o'clock, taking on Davidson. The Billikens are historically very good in the conference, as you know, and Katie Shields is the head coach, and they have been on a great run through the years. Coach, thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me, Tom.
It's good to be with you. Well, what's it like to get back out on the field with this group in conference play once again?
Yeah, it's exciting. For us, it's almost a new chapter of a season. We talk about, everybody's 0-0-0. The non-conference at this point, it just is what it is. And so for us, trying to make sure we're our sharpest and, we've learned a lot of lessons as we've grown through the non-conference, and now it's time to put them into practice as A10 play starts.
What are some of those things? I know you've been very good defensively, as always. What are some of the things you think you've learned along the way?
I mean, I think obviously we've been improving defensively. And a lot of it is we graduated 8 women who started and played so many meaningful minutes over their time that we just have had to fill new spots, roles. We're still tweaking and finalizing, and we've weathered a little bit of injury bug as well. So just for us, we're learning how to defend as a team, definitely learning, still growing in our attacking ruthlessness, but then also just a younger group learning how to win together too. And so I'm happy where we're at, but we have a lot of growth ahead still.
Blue was 5-2-1 in the non-conference, wins over Mizzou and Indiana. Tell me about those two in particular, what you were most proud of there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really those two were in a really challenging stretch of 4 games. We played Penn State, Mizzou, Indiana, and then Iowa. And Penn State and Iowa, those bookends, they're top 10 teams. And so for us, we played Mizzou at home on a Sunday evening, incredible crowd, 4,000 people at Herman Stadium. Just a really great night for women's soccer, and a really good performance again from our team to play a tough team on the road on Thursday night, turn around, come home and beat Mizzou at home in a great atmosphere, and then put back-to-back wins together. Then we played Indiana, who, some people may remember we played them 2 years ago in the opening round of the NCAA tournament here at Herman Stadium. And so it's with a totally different team from us, to be able to beat them as well was a really good kind of back-to-back performance. And I do think we learned a lot, and we grew in that stretch of games for sure.
This is SLU women's coach Katie Shields with us. The soccer program has had such a great run. I want to go back to that Mizzou game for a minute, because I think that attendance is significant, and I've been there for big crowds on the men's and women's side, but women's soccer is growing. You are ranked 11th in the country in attendance, but I think locally you have people's attention. I feel like you could probably feel it in the communities around the area. Half of your players are from St. Louis. There's an attachment, I think, with this community.
I think so. And it's been one of our objectives, in our time of building this program, not just the competitive success on the field, but the connection to our community. Having local women represent, our program and where they've come from definitely helps. So many of our women were those young girls who in the stands over the years came and watched. And so I think it's one of, if not the best environment in college women's soccer, but also so much of that is tied to the community and the support we get and have built throughout this community.
Because I'm sure, a team like Missouri, they want the St. Louis kids too. So, you're competing with them. And, we've been to a lot of those Herman Trophy banquets together, and a lot of great events downtown together. And we know who they are: North Carolina, Stanford. I mean, the big names in college soccer, yet SLU is standing right there with them and growing. Do you feel like that you can do that you could make a run at some of these top tier programs and make a run at a national title at some point?
Yeah, I think it's been very methodical, in our building, and for us, the support within the community, the support from the institution, as we've grown competitively, so has the support from the institution. I'm sitting in our Billiken Soccer Legacy Center, as I'm talking with you, opening up the O'Loughlin Family Champion Center a little over 2 years ago. These are the stair steps that just continue to blow wind into our sails. And for us, we do believe like we can build and grow. We are competing. We can play with anybody. We are competing with anybody. And you got to find the right chemistry, the right group, the right experience together. We're taking it day by day, but that absolutely is our top of our mountain.
And certainly this game against Davidson, scout them for us if you would. We talked a little bit about your non-conference, but maybe not only Davidson, but the A10. How does the conference shape up this year?
Yeah, it'll be very good top to bottom. Davidson is a really strong opponent. We played them in the quarterfinal last year in the playoffs of the A10, and they returned 8 starters from that group that gave us a really tough game in the quarterfinal. As we said, we graduated 8 starters, so it's a little bit different just in terms of that side of things. They're athletic, they're competitive. They're going to make it a physical battle for us. We know within the A10, we're going to get everybody's best shot. We know that we have to be our best, and that, for us, we can't win the championship on Sunday, but we can sure take the proper first step towards it. And so for us right now, it's just very much day by day. But we know we're going to meet some really stiff tests along the way.
It's a 1:00 start on Sunday. And then finally, I've talked to you so much about, and other coaches, about the collaboration at SLU between all of you, but just to narrow it to soccer and what Kevin Kalish is doing, that's been a heck of a run already for his team.
Yeah, they're so fun. I kind of liken them back to the 21 team of his that went to the Elite Eight a few years ago, and there's glimmers and glimpses of that. They're also so young, so it's exciting because you think, oh, this is going to be around for for a while, hopefully. They play with a tremendous competitive spirit. It seems to be a pretty selfless group and easy to root for. So I obviously don't have a ton of time in the fall, but I've really enjoyed so far watching as many of their games as possible, and wish them a lot of luck, as they begin A10 play as well.
Yeah, it's good to see. Not a lot of schools can boast men's and women's soccer, a 1-2 punch like SLU can. And Katie Shields is with us, Herman Stadium. That's why they draw thousands of people to those games. Sunday, today, 1:00 against Davidson. We appreciate you. Good luck, and thanks for being with us on KMOX.
Thanks so much for having me.
We are the home of the Billikens. We'll be right back with much more. Sports on a Sunday Morning continues right after this.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
KMOX welcomes Trans-Siberian Orchestra and their monumental tour, The Ghosts of Christmas Eve, to Enterprise Center, December 23rd at 3 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. A portion of the proceeds benefits Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. TSO, timeless and everlasting. Don't miss the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, The Lost Christmas Eve, produced by Live Nation. For more details, KMOX.com/events.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com. KMOX.com.
Our September author interview on Book Chat with Debbie Monterey in St. Louis Public Library was none other than Leah Holter. Yeah, as in made by Leah, TLC's next great baker. She's got a new craft baking cookbook out called Made by Leah, packed with recipes and pro tips. And of course, her amazing story of why she returned to North County instead of fame in Vegas. It's a great interview, and you can see it now by becoming a member of Book Chat or log on to St. Louis Public Library, slpl.org.
Don't let mosquitoes ruin your time outdoors. At Rottler Pest Solutions, our mosquito control services are designed to dramatically reduce mosquito activity so you can enjoy your yard in peace. Take back your yard. Visit Rottler.com today to learn more and schedule your free inspection.
Are you 55 or older and have questions or concerns regarding your retirement plan? Do you wonder how rising taxes will impact your cash flow? I'm Matthew Allgaier at Fire Capital Management, and I can help you answer these questions and more. Register for our upcoming dinner at Chris's Steakhouse, Tuesday, September 23rd or Thursday, September 25th, beginning at 5:30 p.m. by calling 314-269-0954. This event will cover income and investment planning and tax-efficient strategies. Seating is limited, so call now at 314-269-0954 to register.
I don't want to rub it in, but if you had called Chesterfield Fence and Deck earlier this year, you could be enjoying beautiful fall weather on your beautiful new deck, or on your patio, or in your custom sunroom or screen room. But it's not too late to call Chesterfield Fence and Deck and make sure that you have everything in place so that you can enjoy your outdoor space to its fullest. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best, celebrating their 57th year in business. They have been one of St. Louis's top names in home improvement because they put quality and professionalism first in everything they do, with the best, longest lasting outdoor products available, a skilled installation team with years of experience. Mention me, Debbie Monterey, and they'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing. Stop by and visit them in the Chesterfield Valley. They've got a beautiful showroom, or you can visit them online right now at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Great to be along with you. We're at Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village, and we'll be here for another hour. Coming up next hour, NFL picks, followed by David Freese, John Mozeliak, and Bernie Miklas here on Sports on a Sunday morning. Cardinal baseball after that. The Cardinals and the Brewers, a 1:15 first pitch, 12:20 for the pregame. Last night, the Blues were in Dallas. They lost in a shootout. Second period goal by Justin Carbonneau. He's a good young player to keep an eye on. Power play goal for him. Logan Mayu, who they like a lot, the defenseman, along with Dylan Holloway, each assisted on that goal. First goal of the preseason on a snapshot. But then Maverick Bork tied the game, and that was also in the second period. That game went to a shootout eventually, and Sam Steele had the game-winning goal in the shootout as Dvorsky, Carbonneau, and Holloway were all stopped, and the Stars go on to win the game. They topped the Blues 2-1 in a shootout. They play Columbus today at 4 o'clock on the road before their first home game, September 27th against the Blackhawks at Enterprise Center. Let's check in with Blues coach Jim Montgomery after last night's game.
All right, Monty, first preseason game in the books. How fun was it to be back on the bench and see some competitive action there?
Yeah, no, it was really good, just be back, coaching games, and after a couple of days of practice, see what we've been able to put together on the ice, and also get an opportunity to look at a lot of our young players.
Who stood out as far as young players?
Well, Mayu was really good. He logged a lot of minutes, made a lot of plays offensively and defensively. You can tell that he's a really good hockey player. Someone's going to help us. A lot of moments for Carbonneau. Obviously, he had the goal, and Devo, and I thought Kaskamaki had a real strong game as well.
How much fun was it to see Carbonneau score in his NHL preseason debut, their first round pick, and then making an impact right away?
Yeah, you can tell he's a goal scorer. He looked to the middle and then he just let a shot go, and the goalie was sinking past and he beat him 5-hole. That's a goal scorer's goal.
Goalies were good tonight. Bennington looked good there in the first two periods, and then Ellis with some big saves in the third. You like what you see?
Yeah, both of them were outstanding. It's the reason why we got to overtime, was because Bennington was really strong for two periods, and Ellis went in and made 3 or 4 big-time saves, like elite saves.
How'd you feel about Holloway that first game back, coming back from that injury this summer?
Yeah, I thought he was good. I thought he held on to pucks good. He showed his speed, showed his skill. Someone that is just, with what he missed at the end of the year, it's good to see him playing so well.
Jim Montgomery, the Blues coach, after a 2-1 shootout loss to the Dallas Stars. Montgomery talking about some of his players. He loved Logan Mailloux. I think they think he's going to be really good. He'll be one of these defensemen that I think the Blues will get a lot out of. I do believe that they went after him because they thought that they could tap into his talent and get the most out of him. This young player they have, Justin Carbonneau, is someone to watch. He's only 18 years old. He's 18 out of Quebec. He was their first-round pick, 19th overall in this last NHL draft. And Carbonneau had a goal in the game last night, spoke with the media after the game.
Carb's first NHL preseason game. You get a goal right there off the bat. Like, how good did that feel?
Yeah, it feels good to have a goal, but I feel like I didn't end up things well, but it felt good to score a goal. Yeah.
Can you walk us through the goal?
Yeah, great passing play here. Mailloux did a great pass. Everybody on the zone entry too. So just a great five-guy goal, I would say.
Looked like you were looking away from the net to kind of deceive the goalie there. Is that something you practice?
A little bit of deception. First play I saw all the way on for a cross pass. Second time I looked at the same place, but then I shot. So. Something that you have to work for sure. Yeah.
I know it's preseason. You're not facing a full NHL roster there on the other side, but pace, just how was it? Pretty much what you expected, or?
It's tough to expect, the pace, but it was a good pace. Good. Obviously it's the first game, so execution wasn't perfect, but I thought that both our goalies, were incredible. No surprise here, we worked hard. Same thing for the other side, so I think it was a good pace, but not perfect. But we'll keep building.
Including the game tonight and then the first few days of training camp. What have you learned so far?
Yeah, I've learned a lot from the pros, being on the line with Shan and, all the way, two of the best players. They both bring something different to the lineup. But from these guys, I've learned a lot in the O-zone, defensive zone, all the little details they do that make them so good. It's just I'm just grateful to play with them.
Carbonneau, he's got some big size, 6'1", 205, nice size for the winger. He was upset. He said he didn't finish it well. That's because I believe what he was referring to there was that tripping penalty at 105 of overtime. That set the Blues back a little bit, although they ended up going to the shootout anyway. He misses an opportunity to win the game for them. He scores in the second period. Jim Montgomery called it a goal scorer's goal, that snapshot through the 5-hole. It was great to see as the Blues lose this one 2-1 in a shootout. They're right back at it today, 4 o'clock against Columbus, second exhibition game. Blackhawks at Enterprise Center coming up on Saturday. And I love the NHL. I love that they start training camp and they go right into games. And that's a lot of fun. By the way, you can see the teams practice at Centene Community Ice Center. All you have to do is go over there. They open it up to the fans. They skate, I believe, around 10 most mornings. But you can check ahead for that schedule. That's such a great complex out there. Centene Community Ice Center. Meantime, St. Louis City SC also played last night, and they won. They went to San Jose and picked up a victory, 3-1. St. Louis City SC beats the Earthquakes. Brendan McSorley put City on the board in the 10th minute, scored his first career MLS goal. 9 minutes later, McSorley was a part of Marcel Hartel's goal that gave St. Louis a 2-0 lead. Earthquakes got one back in the 31st minute, but McSorley again scores in the 45th minute as he picks up his first career MLS brace, and City beats San Jose, kept them off the sheet in the second half, and earned 3 points. Second consecutive road win for St. Louis City SC, beating San Jose 3-1. City will be back home on Saturday night, 7:30 start for them. They welcome LAFC, but a nice job by Brendan McSorley. His first career MLS start, his first career MLS brace, his first career MLS assist, and with 2 goals, he's the first player from City 2 to record a brace. As Klaus recorded his second consecutive assist in back-to-back matches, City gets some of their veteran players and some of their younger players involved as they win this one. I think things might be looking up for City. It should be an interesting offseason for them as well. Do they keep David Critchley? Do they look for a new coach? What are they doing to replace Lutz Pfannenstiel, who said goodbye to the fans on social media yesterday? I stayed in touch with Lutz after his firing, and we talked about keeping in touch. I think that he has a broadcast career and soccer management career still ahead of him. I do credit him for building the foundation that was St. Louis City SC moving forward. But, like any sport, if you're not winning and you're not producing, you're not getting to the playoffs, ownership has to do something, and they put their foot down on that one, and they are moving forward with the sporting director position. And on top of that, I wanted to mention that I thanked him for coming on with us every Sunday because, as you know, he was with us every Sunday at 11:15. Didn't matter if they played on the West Coast, Canada, if he got in at 4 a.m, if he didn't sleep at all. He was on the air with us, having a cup of coffee and talking soccer, and I very much appreciated that. I also have appreciation for John Mozeliak in that way. I say this almost every show now because I get asked every time I promote that Mozeliak's coming on. People are like, why? Why are you having Mozeliak on? What more could we hear from John Mozeliak at this point? Because he's the president of baseball operations. He's still the number one source of info for us and for you until Chaim Bloom officially takes over. And I would imagine that's going to be moved pretty quickly here in about a week. So you get one more, perhaps two more of John Mozeliak on the show. Today he will be recognized on the field, I understand, before the game, as this is his final home game. He is the outgoing president of baseball operations, with Bloom taking over from here. John Mozeliak with us at 11:30. David Freese, there's a name I know you love to hear from, the 2011 World Series MVP. He was sitting right here with me at Ballpark Village, Cardinals Nation, for a pregame show earlier this week, and we'll hear that interview. He really opened up there towards the end, I thought, about where he is in life today, and we look back at some of the great memories, some of the things maybe you haven't heard about when it came to that great run in 2011 and 2013. And then, of course, Bernie Miklas will be on the other side of John Mozeliak at 11:45, and we have a lot to talk about with him. It's sports on a Sunday morning. We're coming to you from Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. We'll be back after the news.
I always get asked, when's the best time of the year to purchase an air conditioning and heating system for your home? My response is always the same. If you call me and have a free consultation on your needs and based on your budget, it's always a good time. There's never a bad time. You don't fear my pricing. I try to buy as much as I can at the start of the season, and anything we have left over, it's still a discounted price to you. So if you're looking or you're waiting before winter, because we all put it off, man. We all put it off. None of us like to spend money. But if you know you're going to be doing something before winter, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, BartInman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
See website for details. BillsHappen.com is not a lender. It does not make credit decisions. Must be 18 years old. Not available in all states.
Honey, everything is so expensive, and our bills are piling up.
You're telling me credit cards are maxed out, rent is due, and the car payment's right around the corner? We need some extra cash.
We should do what my friend from work did. She went to BillsHappen.com and got the money she needed the next day.
Our credit is not great. Are you sure that would work for us?
BillsHappen.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with all credit types get up to $5,000.
Sounds like it's going to be a hassle.
My friend said it was super easy. She did it right from her phone during her lunch break.
If you have a regular source of income, you can be approved for a loan for up to $5,000, and your cash can hit your bank account the next day. BillsHappen.com's lenders have millions of dollars to lend, regardless of your credit history.
Guess what? I went to BillsHappen.com, and we're getting our money tomorrow.
Wow, that's fast. Problem solved.
If you need extra cash, go to BillsHappen.com. That's BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM, St. Louis, KMOX FM. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Heather Bosch.
Sing a little louder.
Music greets people gathering in Glendale, Arizona to attend the memorial for murdered conservative activist Charlie Kirk. CBS's Stephen Kaufman.
In front of me, tens of thousands of people gathered in a soccer field and the grassy areas surrounding the field. Just packed so tightly. These folks are all waiting to get into the stadium. And as they're waiting, the sun has come up in Arizona, and it's starting to get a bit warm. Today's high around 100 degrees.
CBS's Chris Van Cleve says security is high at State Farm Stadium.
We haven't seen a security operation like this since a Super Bowl was being played inside State Farm Stadium. Once the lengthy program begins, we will hear from the Secretary of Defense, the Vice President, Charlie Kirk's wife, and President Donald Trump.
Growing concern over President Trump's comments on social media, where he appeared to urge Attorney General Pam Bondi to prosecute his political opponents. Democratic U.S. Senator Chris Murphy tells ABC's This Week.
If you are an opponent of the president, you may find yourself in jail. Again, that is Cuba. That's Iran. That's Russia. That is not the United States. And this just has to be a moment where leaders come together, whether you are a Republican or Democrat, and say enough is enough.
Meantime, Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett tells CNN an investigation has been dropped over claims Trump border czar Tom Homan accepted cash from border agents.
This is absolutely something that not only oversight but judiciary should look into, and I sit as the ranking member on the subcommittee for judiciary that is oversight. So this is something that me and my team are definitely going to look into.
This is all happening under the specter of a government shutdown if Congress doesn't pass funding. Democratic leader Chuck Schumer on CNN.
Hakeem Jeffries and I have now demanded to sit down with Donald Trump because that's the only way to avoid a Trump shutdown.
Tomorrow, French President Emmanuel Macron will formally recognize the right for Palestinians to have their own state, joining more than 140 other countries who already recognize Palestine. CBS's Margaret Brennan of Face the Nation.
It's the latest sign that Israel is becoming increasingly isolated from the rest of the world. The UK, Canada, Australia, they're all following France's lead here. Now, this doesn't practically change everyday life for Palestinians, but it does revive international efforts to try to prop up an alternative to Hamas.
Hamas is the terror group that attacked Israel October 7th. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
At 11:03, mostly sunny, 75 downtown at the Gateway Arch. Good morning, I'm Scott Jagow. Our top story this hour.
Set up the meeting here. Let's start working together as our Democrats and Republicans in Madison County are to make sure that these jobs stay right here in Granite City.
That is Granite City's Mayor Mike Parkinson asking the president to meet with U.S. steelworkers. Parkinson's message to the president was, you've met with the corporate people. Now, how about meeting with the employees? The mayor also reminded President Trump about the promise of keeping jobs in America.
Not 2 years. We don't want 2 years. We don't want 4 years. We want forever.
Hell yeah!
I was there in 2018. I was a policeman that protected you that day. I was in charge of the interior route to get you safely to the mill, to deliver the message to all the people in this room that you were here, you were for real, and you were going to bring jobs back. Let's finish what you started.
Illinois Congresswoman Nikki Budzinski was at yesterday's rally in Granite City. And talking about Nippon's abrupt reversal of now saying Granite Works will receive slabs and they won't be going to Alabama.
To hear that slabs were going to be rerouted to a facility in Alabama and away from Granite City was a clear violation of the agreement that was made with the sale to Nippon. So we pushed back.
Congresswoman Brzezinski says that was a violation of the deal, and that's why U.S. Steel ended up walking it back, and slabs will be coming to Granite City. Now, that Alabama facility is non-union. Brzezinski is now pushing for Granite City to receive a portion of the $14 billion sale of U.S. Steel to Nippon. Maria Aquina, KMOX News.
Warm and humid this afternoon with clouds and sun. We're up into the mid-80s. We'll see a thunderstorm in the area that could produce some flooding downpours, localized damaging wind gusts, then warm and humid tonight. A couple of showers at a thunderstorm, low 69. Mostly cloudy, sticky tomorrow. A couple of showers at a thunderstorm around high 81. Mostly cloudy for Tuesday. A shower around and in spots a thunderstorm, a high 81. I'm AccuWeather's John Feerick on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Thank you, John. Right now it's 79 in St. Peters. We have 78 in Florissant, 75 downtown at the Gateway Arch. I'm Scott Jagow, KMOX News.
From KMOX Sports, this is the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Now from the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
About an hour away from pregame with Joe Pott. Tom Ackerman with you. Second hour of sports on a Sunday morning. Lots of baseball this hour. David Freese, John Mozeliak, Bernie Miklas all lined up for us before the Cardinals take on the Brewers this afternoon. We talked a lot of college football last hour, college soccer as well with Katie Shields, Blues hockey. Heard from Jim Montgomery and Justin Carbonneau. Now it's time to turn the page. Drew Young, hit it. It's time for some NFL picks. Well, I was good last week. Good enough.
Guard Tom Ackerman. And right here, let's go downstairs to Bonus.
Marv, if you remember that big run Robert Holcomb had on the first drive, one of the guys responsible on help busting him loose was Tom Ackerman.
Tom Ackerman up front, and this is a unit that has played very well. A good night for Eddie George. 21 carries, 74 yards. The left guard, Tom Ackerman, with the block that set him free. It's a first down.
Yeah, I was good with my picks, not blocking. That, of course, is the former NFL offensive lineman Tom Ackerman. But I picked pretty well, Drew. I ended up going 9-7. That's not bad. I was 9-5 going into the Monday night games and didn't get Houston. I had Houston to beat Tampa Bay. I had them -2.5. They ended up losing by a point. I had Vegas at home getting 3.5. They ended up losing the Chargers 20-9. Man, the Raiders are not good. So here we go. It's time for NFL picks. We already have one game in the books. Buffalo beat Miami 31-21. By the way, Miami covered in that game. As bad as they looked, they were +11. That's the way the NFL is these days. These books, they pick, the spreads are so scary how accurate they are. You really got to be careful. Let's go on this journey together. Green Bay at Cleveland. The Browns are 0-2. They need a win. Unfortunately, they're playing the Packers, who are a lot better than they are. The spread is 7. It'll be interesting because the Browns are at home, and again, as I mentioned, they are desperate. But when I look at this matchup, I just don't see a way that the Browns can win this game. They are a frustrating game. They only average 16.5 points a game. That is third worst in the NFL. They don't do anything particularly well, especially don't run it well. Only 82 rushing yards a game for an NFL team is not good. I think that if there's one thing they do is they tend to hold the ball and keep it away from the other team. Their time of possession is very good, but I like Green Bay in this game. I'm going to go Green Bay -7, actually, and I think they're going to win by more than a touchdown. Indianapolis at Tennessee. How about the Colts? They're 2-0. They look great. But this is the NFL, and as soon as you think you have it figured out, you don't. I'm going to go Titans +5.5 at home. I think this is the day that Indianapolis either loses a game or ekes one out. But they've looked pretty good so far. The Colts took out the Dolphins in week 1 and came back and beat a pretty good Denver team 29-28 in week 2. Those are 2 picks in the noon games. Here are the rest of them. Cincinnati and Minnesota. The Bengals are 2-0, but as you know by now, they don't have Joe Burrow. He is out for the next 3 months with turf toe. And the Vikings are a 3-point favorite at home. They have their own injury issues to worry about with J.J. McCarthy dealing with his injury as well. Look, this Vikings team last week went to Atlanta and lost 22-6. Let's be real. The Falcons absolutely trampled McCarthy. He was 11 for 21 passing for 158 yards. And if I'm going to sit here and tell you that the Vikings are just going to walk in and do damage, I'd be fooling myself. But I do think that they can get this one today over the Bengals because the Bengals are hampered, and I need to see a full 4 quarters out of them. They did it last week, I know, but they're going on the road this time around. I'm going to go Vikings in this game. Vikings -3. Pittsburgh at New England. The Steelers walk in there a 1-point favorite. I like them. -1 at New England. Both teams are 1-1. Rams at Philadelphia. The Eagles, a 3.5-point favorite against the Rams. What am I missing there, Drew? How are they only a 3.5-point favorite? I know the Rams have had a nice start to the year, but this Eagles team playing at home, I think they roll today. I really do. I like them. They looked really good in handling Arrowhead Stadium and all of that craziness. They're going to be back home, the comfort of home, and they win big. Give me Eagles -3.5. Jets at Tampa Bay. Bucks are off to a really nice start, 6.5-point favorite. I'll take that. Bucks -6.5 against the Jets, sending New York to 0-3. Vegas at Washington. I don't believe in the Raiders at all, but Jaden Daniels is hurt. I don't think that matters. I think the Commanders -3 against Vegas. Atlanta at Carolina. Falcons looked really good, Mike Penix Jr., but most importantly, Bijan Robinson. Their running back is terrific. And I'm going to take the 4.5 points. Maybe I'll scale that back just a bit. Give me Carolina at home +4.5. Atlanta squeezes it out today. Houston at Jacksonville. The Texans a 1.5-point dog on the road. I'm going to ride them again. Give me Texans +1.5 at Jacksonville. Denver at the Chargers. I feel like something's wrong with the Broncos. I can't quite figure out what it is. Chargers -3 at home for the 3:05 game against Denver. The other 3:05s. New Orleans at Seattle. Boy, I think the Saints are terrible, and I think that the Seahawks actually are a playoff team in the making. They are -7. Terrible spread. I'll go Seattle -7. Why do they keep hitting me with these 7s? Dallas at Chicago. Oh, the Chicago. These are the 2 teams that get so much hype and always let you down. Always. The Cowboys and the Bears. Oh. Well, it's going to get great ratings on Fox because everybody watches the Cowboys and the Bears. And the Cowboys lost a heartbreaker, won a heartbreaker, sent the Giants to heartbreak, I should say, and were able to get one for their first win. I don't believe in the Bears yet. Sorry. Dallas in this game, -1 at Chicago. Arizona at San Francisco. Interesting game here. I bet you didn't know that the Cardinals swept the 49ers last year. Also, the 49ers, somehow, with all of their injuries, are 2-0. I don't know how they're pulling it off. Brock Purdy got hurt. George Kittle got hurt. But they just are one of those teams, kind of like the Eagles do, although the Eagles are at a different level. The 49ers find ways to win. They're a 2-point favorite at home against Arizona, and I think they'll figure it out today. Give me 49ers -2. Both teams are 2-0. Huge division game in the NFC West. All right, the Sunday nighter, Chiefs at Giants. Want to take a guess what this spread is? It's not enough. Chiefs -6 at the Giants tonight. Give me Chiefs all day. Must win for the Chiefs. Must win for the Chiefs. And the Giants aren't very good. I know. I saw the game against Dallas, but Dallas isn't good either. I hate to break it to you. The Giants are going to lose by more than 6 tonight at home to the Chiefs. Chiefs -6. And then finally, the Monday night game is Detroit at Baltimore. That's a great one. The Lions are coming off a terrific win, a thumping of the Bears, 52-21. But these are the Baltimore Ravens, the best team in the NFL, I think. I know the record doesn't show it, but to me, they're the most explosive team. And I think they'll handle their business tonight or Monday night and win. They're -4.5, and I'm going to go with it. Give the Lions the 4.5. Baltimore Ravens -4.5. Drew, we'll see how I did. Winning record for me last week, 9-7. We'll take a break. When we come back, David Freese, World Series MVP 2011, next on KMOX.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. You know, when you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This is your last chance to live in a brand new home at The Preserve, located at Mackenzie and Watson Roads. We have 5 outstanding homes ready for move-in at amazing prices and special financing as low as 4.75%. Choose from ranch or 1.5-story homes backing to woods. Our luxurious Turnberry display is now for sale. Also, get up to $10,000 in free closing costs. Isn't it time to move up to McKelvey?
Fall is here. Baseball, beautiful weather, and the changing colors of trees and shrubs. When you think of your trees, call family-owned Gamma Tree Experts. Fall is a great time to prune and fertilize your valuable trees. Our staff of certified arborists will survey your trees to determine their needs. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. Call Gamma Tree Experts at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
I'm Dave Glover, and I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Dr. Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. Just go to youridoc.com.
Hey guys, it's Kevin Wheeler. Struggling with low energy, performance issues, or weight gain? Game Day Men's Health has you covered with testosterone therapy, ED treatments, and more, all in a relaxed environment that's like being in the man cave. At Game Day, you get a free testosterone test and consultation all in just an hour. Game Day is the premier men's health clinic with 3 area locations in Chesterfield, O'Fallon, Missouri, and Glen Carbon, Illinois. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. That's GameDayMen'sHealth.com and get back to the top of your game with Game Day Men's Health.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fira Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life.
Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
At California Psychics, we know that sometimes you can wake up thinking,
I don't know if I'm in the right career, or the right relationship.
but whatever your life dilemma, at California Psychics, we'll give you the guidance you need to feel certain about your life choices. And because we only connect you with the very best, we guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
David Freeze. Swinging a long one into right. Get up, baby. Get up. Get up. It's at the wall. It is off the wall. One run in. Here comes Bergman. Over to third goes Freeze. We're tied 7-7. How about that? Unbelievable. 3-2 delivery. On its way. Swinging a high drive to center field. Get up, baby. Get up, baby. Get up. Oh, yeah. David Freeze has just sent us into game number 7. This series is tied 3-3 with a walk-off home run here in the bottom of the 11th inning. The Cardinals win it 10-9. Unbelievable.
Welcome back to Cardinal Baseball. Tom Ackerman with you. Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. All you have to say is Game 6 in St. Louis. You don't even have to name the sport. Everybody knows where and when and what happened. 2011 World Series, and David Freeze is with us. Always great to visit with you, and thanks again for being here.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Well, when you hear that, the Mike Shannon call, and I know I've played it for you many times over the years. I don't know how often you get to hear that radio call. I'm sure the TV call comes across your phone every so often, but what do you think about when you hear Mike?
For sure, you get a lot of feeling, especially hearing it from Mike. Kind of growing up listening to him, and then hearing the radio call, like you said, you get a lot of the Joe Buck call, but hearing that the Shannon call special.
Shannon was a special guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was so special that he could walk through the Pirates training room straight to the cold tank and come find me 10 minutes before a game. He's that special.
What happened? He came in. Where's David?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. He just acts like he belongs. He can get anywhere.
And being a hometown guy, I think that was something that was really special that the two of you were able to share.
Yeah,
winning a world championship in your hometown.
It was great. He'd come down after our games and jump in the buffet line and sit down and eat with us and do all sorts of shenanigans. But what a great human. He was fun to be around.
You mentioned earlier in the show that you've been coming here since you were 5-6 years old, as early as you can remember. At what point in your life did you have the dream of being a Cardinals player?
Yeah, I think it started early. Playing baseball at 4, a little west of downtown, and starting at T-ball and building up from that. But I think it was just always there growing up, playing catch with my dad. I think I grew up loving to pitch was kind of my thing. Played second and short, but just loved pitching back then, up and down the fields on Manchester, getting into it with all your friends in middle school, because you're playing half of those guys. So the love for it was always there. Wanting to be a big leaguer was always there. Watching Ozzie, watching all those guys, coming to playoff games as a kid in the 90s against the Braves and stuff like that. I remember it like it was yesterday.
And then the Cardinals traded late in spring training in 2000 for Jim Edmonds.
Right.
And he goes on to do his heroics and win a world championship. And lo and behold, there's a deal involving Edmonds and you. That had to have been surreal.
Yeah, that was wild. Sitting out in the Burger King outside of L.A. that night, got a call from Grady Fuson with the Padres. Didn't really understand what was going on, and then Mo called me I think you could correct me, but I think the deal went down because Edmonds turned down a trade to the White Sox, and he wanted to be closer to home. So they found some old kid in high A that could hit a little bit and play some third, and I think threw some cash in there or however it went down, and ended up believing these phone calls and got traded home. So it was great.
You established yourself, and in 11, that comeback was just unbelievable. I mean, what the team was able to do from 10.5 out to make the run with some assistance from the Braves falling back, but you made a run on that last day, making the playoffs. Had to have been an unreal, unforgettable celebration.
Yeah, having the Phillies before that weekend against the Braves deciding to play all their guys, right? They sat around and said, let's just keep playing. So the Phillies threw their whole team out there and swept the Braves and gave us a chance, and we did our thing. And it's funny year after year thinking about that run, just the little things that pop into your head about, why that happened or how it happened. There's so many different reasons for us not to get there, and then to kind of continue it into October and take care of the Phillies team, was just kind of bonkers. 102-win team, I think. Situations in that series where Cliff Lee had never been down by 4 runs and lost, this and that, just stuff like that. And taking it to Game 5 and having Halladay and Carp, they were best friends, and going at it, duking it out for full 9 innings. Just crazy to think about.
It was amazing. Lance Berkman said afterwards, you could go right down the roster and you could say, if so-and-so doesn't do X, we don't win the World Series. It truly was that. But going back to you, we talk a lot about your Game 6, but you were on fire against the Brewers. I mean, what were you feeling in the NLCS in particular?
I was like, I got to play well this Game 6 or Albert's going to win the MVP. That's what I was thinking. No, I'm just kidding. Just kind of turned on against the Phillies. I had a rough start against the Phillies, against those arms. Big Mac and Tony had a conversation, kept me in. Ended up hitting a double and a homer off Oswalt in Game 4 and kind of just never looked back. And then went into the Brewers series, understanding how intense that was going to be with them, because we kind of got into it with them a little bit, being in division rivals and stuff. So I lived for that type of series. That was great. And kind of just stayed hot. We all got hot. The bullpen was incredible. And, Game 6, kind of hit a homer there. Albert was hitting homers. I think Furcal got one. A bunch of guys were just raking, and we took that series.
And then, of course, the World Series and the famous Game 6, which you've talked about so many times. I always marvel at Game 7 that everybody was able to rally. I'm talking about the crowd, not you guys, but everybody was there. That was a Game 6 that night was a party like nobody would understand.
Right.
And then Game 7, for you to do what you did in the bottom of the first to put the energy back in the ballpark.
Yeah, being from here, you're connected to so many people, and over the years you see so many saved videos of people sneaking into the park after the game or after the 7th inning, of people leaving Game 6 because they think it's over, and then the doors kind of opening, people getting in there and watching it, and or hearing people how they were leaving, driving on the highway, and we end up tying it and this and that. It's just a wild feeling. And I do think about the fans in October in cities like this at the bars and restaurants. How you just got to rally up. Everyone's kind of hungover, and you just keep continuing for a full month and packing these bars and kind of demanding a championship. Whether it's the Blues, the Rams back in the day, the Cardinals, whoever. Just cool to see how the fans could just keep going with us.
A couple of things before we go with David Freese is that 2 years later you went back to the World Series. A couple of things go your way there. You might walk away with another one.
Yeah, that was wild. That was crazy. I think 12 we played well. And I think we were up 3-1 against the Giants. Maybe the toughest stadium to win a game, I think, in my opinion. Going out there and I remember down 3-1 and they just take that whole series, and we almost just went straight back to the World Series. And then 13 we with Matheny, and in 12 and 13, and we get right back. We just had a bunch of dogs that just wanted to get it done. And 13 would have been cool, but it just wasn't our time. And I know the Cardinals, I left after 13, and they just kind of kept rolling with that club with Mike. And, it was cool to see. I remember sitting in my apartment, 3 blocks north. I'm at home after the season, and I hear fireworks just going off. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, Wong just went deep, because there was a delay a little bit. And, I'm 3 blocks north in my apartment. It's just like, that was a cool feeling. And you're not a Cardinal, but when you have the right time for it, you're still rooting for them.
Well, last thing is that we know your place in Cardinals history. You're one of the names that gets people excited about this franchise. But I know you, that you are equally as proud, and maybe even more so, of who you are today as a father, as a husband, as a son. You got a great thing going right now in Austin, Texas.
I appreciate it, Tom. I know we talk every now and then, and we've had some serious conversations over the years about just life and being a husband, being a dad, and being a friend. And there's a lot of times in my life where it could go sideways. It could have gone sideways. And just having the right people around you and kind of being a man at the right time, with your back against the wall, whether it's in athletics or just in life in general, you just kind of got to pull together and pray and hope and try and do the right things. And I've been lucky. I think that's just the perfect word for it, in a lot of the sense of just being able to have a wife that I do, having kids, just having a circle that I can trust and be around.
It's great to see you, man.
You too, Tom. Always.
David Freese, great to visit with him. He is he's a busy man. He has 3 kids, age 7, 5, and 2. He's got a lot going on down there in Texas. His wife, Marin, they are living a happy life down there in Austin. So we wish them the very best. And it's always great to see David. We don't get to see him as often as we'd like, but when he comes up to St. Louis, we want to try to get him, and it was nice to visit with him. The 2011 World Series MVP, the man who traded for him, John Mozeliak, coming up next on KMOX.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments, including pills, chews, and more, 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed. That's right, weight loss seminar at the Marriott St. Louis West in St. Louis at 11 a.m. Registration 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
When you get hurt, you don't want to end up on the injured list. You want to get back in the game stronger than ever. At Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, we fight for you, making sure big insurance doesn't throw you a curveball. With over $25 billion recovered, we're the home run hitters you need.
This is way out there and gone.
Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Coming to you from Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village before the Cardinals take on the Brewers this afternoon. And we are joined by the Cardinals President of Baseball Operations, John Mozeliak. Good morning, Mo.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. I visited last segment, our visit with David Freese, when I sat down with him, and he, as always, was a great conversation. Known him a long time. Am I right in that was your first trade as Cardinals general manager?
That is correct. Yes.
Wow.
That was it was sort of interesting, right? Because at the time I was working feverishly to try to find a home for Scott Rowland, and then Jim Edmonds decided he wanted to be part of that, and of course I ended up trading him. So yeah, great return.
Yeah, well, as it turned out, and the way Freese described it, he was at a Burger King outside of L.A., sitting outside, and he gets a call from the Padres, and then got a call from you, and the rest is history.
I don't think he believed me at first.
Yeah, he said, I guess they were looking to give Edmonds a home, and he wanted to be closer to home, so they went and got an old kid in single A, is how he put it to me. That old kid turned out pretty good.
Exactly, it worked out.
Yeah. Do you go back and, I mean, are you starting to it's probably already happened, where you reflect on some of the things that you did that changed the trajectory of the Cardinals, whether it's Freese, drafting Yachty, drafting Albert, making deals, some that went well and some that didn't go your way, but are you in that mode right now where you're looking at all of that?
I mean, obviously this weekend specifically has been a lot of reflection, running into people, trying to get as many thank yous as I can out there, just because it does feel like everything's moving pretty quickly at this point. And, we obviously still have a week of baseball left, so we can't lose sight of that. But then there is that point of I know this is coming to an end pretty soon, so I just have to prepare for that. And so, yeah, reflection is happening, but it is also just going back through the memories and all the relationships I've made over the years. So that part's been great.
Yeah, one thing I think people don't know about you, and probably should, is, at least I think they should, the things that you do behind the scenes. I mean, I watch you interact with different members of the organization. Let's say, for example, the clubhouse attendance, going from Mark Walsh and everybody else that works behind the scenes, because you've worked behind the scenes, because when you came in with the Rockies, you took on pretty much any job they'd give you, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think when you are a leader of a business, one of the great strengths of a person is the ability to have empathy or understanding of people and where they are and what they do. And so you're right. I mean, I try to treat everybody as if that were me, and that part I've really enjoyed, because I get a unique platform to do this in, and in the end, I think that's probably more important than just the wins and losses.
And the wins and losses certainly are a big part, though, of your career, and they will honor you today before the game. The Cardinals are going to honor your career, as this is your final home game, and some of the accomplishments that the team passed along to me, not only your championships, which we know, World Series in 06 and 11, 3 pennants, but 17 postseason appearances, and they also noting here 5 consecutive postseasons from 11 to 15, which is a franchise record. I think the important thing there, John, is that maybe something that doesn't get pointed out is that was post-Albert. And I know that was a tough time for you. You won it all in 11, but in that offseason, there are two things going on. You're trying to replace Tony La Russa and ultimately Albert Pujols.
Yeah, you talk about like being just put back into the fire, because that was a crazy offseason, but we had a successful transition. There's no doubt. Would have loved to have kept Albert, but that didn't happen. And if you think back to 2012, 2013, 14, 15, I mean, those were just some like really good baseball teams. I mean, really, I think back to like 2004 and 2013. Those are like the two times we lost in the World Series, but they were probably better teams. And but October is about timing. It's about health and getting hot, and so that's why every team is trying to get there, because then they want to have that roll of the dice.
Certainly, Cardinals fans, the Cardinals in general, want to get back there, want to get back to October. How long do you think it takes, John, to rebuild the franchise? I mean, I'm not asking you to pinpoint it, but what is the process here moving forward? And I think it's okay to say rebuild, because you're trying to build this back to what it used to be. How long do you think a realistic expectation would be?
Well, if you really dissect it in terms of like when we were winning, we had stars, and then we were able to attract stars and keep them here. So I think I think what's really happened over the last 20 years, it's just from a drafting standpoint. For many years, we were picking in the bottom 20. And I think that caught up with us a little bit. I think from an international market, before they had the signing bonus cap, there were teams that were just more aggressive in those markets, and then it had more success there. So the formula for the Cardinals has to be where we get some homegrown stars, right? When we had Albert, when we had Molina, arguably Wainwright, those are like core players that then you can go build around. And if you need to augment it in free agency, you can. But, right now, I think that's the big challenge for the Cardinals is getting those sort of key players. Now, not trying to put pressure on Weatherholt, but he certainly looks like someone that's going to be a very successful major league player. And so that's a good first step. And, I think some of the arms we were able to draft this year, they're going to move quick and they're going to be exciting. So I don't think like I understand the word rebuild, but I also think like our system is probably stronger than it gets credit for. And so in terms of like what Heim and his team decide and what pace they go at, that's really up to them. And I certainly don't want to sit here and armchair quarterback what they should do or how they should do it, especially in a public forum. I certainly wish them well. And I do think like the foundation of what we have in the minor leagues is going to be a good starting block for them.
I appreciate the time this morning. I want to keep you on schedule because I know you have a lot of pregame things to handle today, including being honored before the game, and a lot of people to thank around in your final home game. So thank you for the visit today, and we'll catch up with you soon.
That sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you. John Mozeliak with us on Sports on a Sunday Morning on KMOX. We'll take a break. Bernie Miklasz joins us next. Always love the visits with Bernie. That's coming up in just a few minutes from Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Football is back, thank goodness. And Underdog is the best place to select entries and win money all season long. You can play right now in Missouri, and playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more during football season. There is nothing better. Download the app today and sign up with promo code TOM. That's really important. Promo code TOM to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code TOM. Millions of fans have already won billions making plays on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
You all remember me mentioning my wife's thermostat being broke because of the, the change of women evidently have to go through, which is horrible. People called me asking me, how did she feel about me sharing her insanity? I did notice seeing her looking through a fork at me. So, hey, guys, if your wife, your girlfriend, your better half is looking through a fork at you, look it up. Why? You're going to be shocked. But she's still happy that she's got air conditioning. So you need help. You need pricing. Somebody told you you need new equipment. Remember, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. But guys, look up wives looking through forks at husband. You better change your program around. God bless.
The KMOX City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra, is back. Next stop, Hot Shot Sports Bar and Grill in Fenton, Thursday, September 25th. A limited number of fans can get an autograph with City SC player Thomas Ostrak. Register to win great prizes, enjoy great food, and cold drinks. Hot Shots in Fenton, the place to be, Thursday, September 25th from 6 till 8 p.m. for the City SC Soccer Showcase, presented by Michelob Ultra. For more info, KMOX.com/events.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Shows Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley for i3 Broadband, the internet provider in the Pauley household. I think you'd love it if you had them as well. We've got the 2 gig package at our home, 2 gig upload, 2 gig download mirrored, and we're spending less money than we did with the cable company for lesser service. Plus, right now, they've got savings over $400 beyond their already low standard pricing. You got questions? They've got answers. Call 877-976-0711, and they've got people there who can answer all your questions, or head to their website, i3broadband.com.
Hi, Debbie Monterey with Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria, you've been helping families for more than 22 years with your guarantees, your buyers in waiting program, and you were telling me that between now and the end of the year is a good time to sell. Can you share why?
Always good to see you. When it comes to timing, the spring and fall selling season have historically been the most active. However, due to raised home value and affordability, this market still has lots of sellers and buyers on the sidelines. Fact is, between now and year end is a great time to discuss the sale of your home. I have guaranteed sale program solutions for every situation, including instant multiple cash offers, 100% market value, or my trusted guarantee sale program, where I'll sell your home at our agreed upon price, or I will buy it myself.
Sounds like a plan. The time is now. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com, GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back. We are Cardinals Nation inside Ballpark Village. Final segment here, Sports on a Sunday morning. Mark and Cheryl Solari are here. Mark and Cheryl Solari, I should pronounce that right. And Donnie and Joanne Williams have been taking in the show with us, and we love the fact that they're here. We love the fact that Bernie Miklasz is with us. I always like it I would love it if he was here, but I always like having him on, period. How are you, Bernie?
I'm doing good. And before we start, I know we don't have a lot of time. Congrats to the Hoosiers, man.
I really thought Illinois would win that game, so they shut me up. But now I don't have to doubt them anymore. That was basically perfection. I cannot believe how they annihilated the Illini. I mean, unbelievable. But and I know you're happy, so I wanted to tell you I'm happy for you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It was a great day, great night, I should say. And the only mistake they made was blown coverage on that one long pass from Altmaier. Other than that, they dominated the football game. I was surprised at how much they dominated. I thought they would win the game, but the line of scrimmage, it was just complete obliteration on both sides. I couldn't believe that a Brett Bielema team would perform like that in that fashion. I really didn't. And by the way, you're not alone. The whole College Game Day panel picked Illinois except for Pat McAfee. But I think it's just I think it was more respect for Illinois than it was downgrading Indiana. I think people have poked fun at Indiana's soft schedule. I'm not sure that happens from this point forward. And I don't necessarily think that Illinois' season goes sideways from here, but we'll see. On the other side, Missouri, that is a solid win. I know that's not as flashy as 63-10, but the Tigers won a solid football game using defense and using the ground game to beat South Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, they dominated on both sides of the football. And, Mizzou rushed for 340 yards or something like that. I didn't write it down. But the amazing thing is, South Carolina had minus 9 yards rushing. And I've never seen a split that big where one team's rushes for more than 300 and the other team is in minus yardage. I mean, Hardy and Roberts and Prabula, because he's a great runner. The first time they put design plays in for him, and you saw how great it was, him running the football. And, the thing that's great about the Mizzou offense is that when they need to throw the ball, they can. And listen, I know Prabula threw a bad pick last night, but it's funny. I was watching a lot of the post-game stuff, and, people were talking about him. Well, he didn't really have a very good game. Hold on now. He is entitled to make a mistake, and he made some big plays, and he was huge in the running game. And there's something about him. The great thing about the Mizzou offense is if you try to take away the pass, you're doomed. You're dead because they're going to run you to death. But if you go too far the other way and you try to load up the box and, put 7-8 guys in the tackle box, well, Bo Prabula will tear you apart. So, I love their offense, and the offensive line, their run blocking especially is outstanding. The front seven of the Mizzou defense is outstanding. The only thing they've got to clean up is they're giving them too many chunk plays where we saw it last night, where DBs get lost or they don't keep an eye on the quarterback and they blow a coverage. That's the only thing about Mizzou that you can nitpick. Just say, hey, they got to clean that thing up, and that's what Eli Drinkwitz said last night. He was pretty adamant about it. But that's a really exciting football team. And let me just throw this out there, Tom. Since the start of 2023, the Power 4 conference teams plus Notre Dame who have the best winning percentage in order: Oregon number 1, Ohio State number 2, Georgia number 3, and then Mizzou and Ole Miss tied for number 4.
Wow.
Not bad. Not bad.
That's pretty good. And they're going to be 5-0 after they beat UMass next week, and then they get a bye. And I did hear all of this talk about, well, now they're a playoff possibility because of their favorable schedule. What's favorable about Alabama, at Auburn, at Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, who's 4-0, by the way, at Oklahoma, at Arkansas? Hello. I mean, what is favorable about that schedule? Why do we do this all the time? Why do we,
I know.
Well,
it's because of media, and we're both media people. But I mean, I do some of this myself, not with Mizzou, but in other areas. The thing to say is, like, listen, they had some players to replace. They have a new quarterback. No one was sure what to expect with him in the passing game. They had some offensive linemen to replace, this and that, this and that, this and that. So the thing to look at it is like, well, they had a great home schedule, and it's given them a chance to start 4-0, and they beat KU, and they beat South Carolina, and they've really opened some eyes. So they've established themselves as a team to watch, definitely a team to watch. But what you say to that is not talking about their national championship odds or playoff odds. because that's stupid. It's way too early. What you do is point out, hey, they look like they're capable of winning any game that's left on their schedule. But realistic, when you got to go back to back twice, where you go back to back Auburn, then Vanderbilt, two tough teams. So yeah, give Vanderbilt their flowers. That's a hell of a football team. And then later in the season, you're at where do they go? They got Arkansas the last game, and before that, it's Oklahoma. Oh, who's going to go in Oklahoma and win? I mean, is that an easy place? No. So Mizzou's got to find a way to beat either Alabama, Texas A&M at home, or both. Take one loss out of those two games, and then you hope that they could win 3 of those 4 road games, or even 2 of those 4 road games. I don't know, but it's just too early for that.
Yeah, it is. It is, and Missouri's run game with Ahmad Hardy, they can stay in any game. So let's keep an eye on them. They're going to be tough to handle. Final thing, Bernie, we have 2 minutes on the clock, but any outstanding thoughts from you that we haven't gotten to on the Cardinals? So when it comes to this final home game and then a final stretch against the Giants and Cubs, obviously with September 29th and the next page being turned, the biggest focus.
Well, the thing to me, and I'll try to be quick here, I'm looking at the two, like a new era about to open and the previous era closing officially, at least in terms of the final home game for John Mozeliak. Despite, look, I've been tough on him the last few years, but despite some of the bad times down the stretch, this guy came to the Cardinals in 1995, and he was a big part of one of the great eras of St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And, okay, the last 3 years have not been good. I'm not trying to excuse it. But my gosh, when you look at the last 30 years, how many baseball franchises have won to this level? The Cardinals are like a top 3, top 4 franchise over a 30-year period. But yet locally, like 90% of the attention is about how they've been lousy the last 3 years. And I think that's a shame, because I think there's a time and place where you recognize someone who played a valuable role in making the Cardinals so prominent. All kinds of great trades. They don't win the 2011 World Series or the 2013 NL pennant without moves made by John Mozeliak. Getting Goldie and Arenado for nothing, basically. I mean, I could talk for 3 hours about all those trades, but now the baton will be handed to Chaim Bloom, and a whole new era begins. And I'm excited because nobody wants to hear rebuild, but it's necessary. And this is the ideal guy to lead it. So I'm excited about a new era beginning. But before the new era begins, let's make sure to give all the credit that John Mozeliak has earned over 30 years, not just the last 3 years. What about the first 27? I think the first 27 matter than the last 3, right?
That is well said. Appreciate you, bud.
Gotcha, bud. Take care.
Thank you. Bernie Miklasz on KMOX.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888